Windows Recall is officially rolling out to insiders with Copilot Plus PCs. So for those who don't know, Windows Recall is an AI-powered feature that nobody asked for that basically takes a screenshot of your computer. I think it's like every few minutes or every few seconds. And the whole idea is it uses AI, and you can type in, for example, if you're like, what was that website I looked at? Or I'll admit I do this. What was that YouTube video I watched that taught me how to do XYZ? And I see the value of that feature, but in the initial version, there was literally not a single split second of thought given to things like privacy or security. Like the data wasn't encrypted. It didn't censor any passwords or credit cards. Like basically anybody who accessed that database, which could include anybody who got access to the PC remotely or locally, could access everything except for Netflix. Because of course they censored DRM content, obviously. Shows you where their priorities lie. But anyways, there was a lot of pushback. Microsoft delayed it. They said they were going to work on it, and they did. And for the record, I'm with you guys. I hate this thing. I'm going to turn it off if it ever hits my PC. But they did make some of those updates. For example, they made it opt-in. For now, I'm sure eventually it'll be opt-out because that's how Microsoft rolls. It will require the user to confirm that they're in front of the PC via Windows Hello to be able to use it. It can be removed. Now it will automatically filter things like credit cards, passwords, personal identification numbers. You can exclude specific apps or websites or in private browsing sessions. It also has malware protection features such as anti-hampering and rate limiting measures. They say that it will be strictly on device. It will never send anything back to Microsoft. And most importantly, right now, it is only supposed to be available on Copilot PCs, and I'm sure that'll change in the future. But right now, unless you specifically go out and buy one of these specifically Microsoft-approved made PCs, it should not be on your computer. I mentioned this last time we mentioned the story a couple weeks ago. Some people have reported that it does show up in their program list. I don't know if it's actually there. I don't know if that's like a preliminary, we're getting ready to roll it out to everybody in the future thing. I was not able to confirm that, but there's plenty of resources out there if you want to go check that on yourself. But either way, be aware, this is starting to roll out. Definitely keep an eye on it if you're a Windows user. There are plenty of legitimate reasons to use Windows. I mean, switch to Linux if you can. That's always the best move, and we'll talk about that later, actually. But for those of you who have to use Windows for whatever, plenty of legitimate reasons, make sure you keep an eye on this. And if it does show up on your computer, be sure to try and disable it.
You just watched a clip from Surveillance Clips, which is from our normal weekly podcast, Surveillance Report, where we dive into the privacy and security news of each week. It's pretty extensive, and so if you're somebody who wants to learn a little bit more than just what this clip showed, check out the weekly podcast. It's consistent, and you'll get all the news you need. Check it out here on the screen.